Dawn, 29th of September 2022, according to Bilawal, Pakistan would instead act as a link between China and the US than play geopolitical football. Pakistan will swindle both China and the United States out of their money. According to Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto-Zardari, rather than contributing to escalating tensions or becoming a geopolitical football, Pakistan should be a link between China and the United States. The foreign minister made these statements in response to queries on Islamabad's relations with Washington and Beijing during an interview with Foreign Policy, particularly about aid pledged and delivered by the two in the wake of catastrophic floods. What China does is entirely up to China, whether it has to do with Pakistan or Sri Lanka. In response to Foreign Policy's Ravi Agarwal pointing out that Beijing hasn't quite come to Pakistan's aid in a big way following this year's catastrophic floods and that even Sri Lanka wasn't able to get much help from China in the wake of an economic crisis, he said, just like it's 100% America's decision in either of these circumstances. China has significantly invested in Pakistan and Sri Lanka as part of its grandiose Belt and Road Initiative. It intends to station its soldiers in specially constructed outposts to protect its interests. Bilawal continued, I would like Pakistan to continue to play a role that we have in the past, rather than being a point of competition or a venue for these divisions, between China and the US, to be aggravated. Pakistan initially served as a conduit between China and the US, which led to the establishment of diplomatic ties between them. The timing of Bilawal's comments coincides with a verbal battle between China and the US over aid to Pakistan for debt reduction and flood relief to help it deal with the effects of this year's torrential rains. U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken had urged Pakistan on Monday to ask China for debt assistance while emphasizing Washington's support for Islamabad during these difficult times. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin criticized the U.S. for passing inappropriate accusations against Pakistan-China cooperation and asked it to do something genuine and useful for the people of Pakistan in response to the comments. Bilawal has urged both major world powers to put aside their differences and cooperate on climate change. In addition, he noted that Pakistan sought friendship with China while no one else did. He explained how China has recently aided Pakistan and quipped, "Now, nobody wants to be friends with China." China has undertaken strategic investments in Pakistan to increase its influence in Central Asia. Bilawal also discussed the international aid that Pakistan has so far gotten to deal with the devastating floods in a broader context, calling the reaction to aid calls from outside wonderful but a drop in the ocean compared to the nations required. He continued that Pakistan will be in a better position to comprehend the full extent of the damage following the assessment of the sum required to cover the loss caused by floods. The damage is estimated to be $30 billion, but it's only a guess. Agarwal questioned Bilawal about whether Pakistan was receiving or anticipating assistance from India to deal with the flood damage. Both questions received a negative response from Bilawal. Following that, the interviewer questioned the foreign minister over whether he had requested assistance to deal with the flood damage. Truthfully, I can't say. I have not interviewed anyone. They offered their service, I didn't beg for it from the US. They presented their assistance without being asked by China. The Middle East offered its assistance without being asked, according to Bilawal. In my opinion, humanity is put to the test at times of human calamity. Agarwal compared the aid offered by Washington during the devastating floods of 2010 and 2022 in the interview when discussing Pakistan's relations with the US and their development over time. US assistance is now significantly less than it once was. Are you concerned about the deterioration of Pakistan's ties with the United States? He inquired. I believe that people only saw us from the perspective of Afghanistan because we were hyphenated as AFPAC. I feel much more at ease with our relationship with America today than in 2010, Bilawal responded. He said that since Islamabad re-established contact with the U.S. State Department and the U.S. government, we've seen a more inclusive debate regarding our commercial connections. We must acknowledge that the world has changed if we want to be realistic. There have been changes beyond simply Pakistan or the U.S. Kabul's decline has been witnessed. The Ukraine crisis has been seen. I am pretty aware of the domestic economic difficulties everyone is experiencing. The economic climate is highly different. Additionally, significant sums of money are spent both locally and abroad.